うする？二度と人間に関わらないか、それともこの場で俺に倒されるか。
Episode 29, we are introduced to the Granite World President Boka Zaludak and his daughter Lizelle Zaludak. Jeb and Lizelle eloped, and he outs the company's secrets for the Zaludaks to exploit. So now Jeb's back running the company as co-president with Lizelle. Episode 32 is a filler episode, but what's important in it was that Nivelle visits Dente because he figures right that Dente copied his work and made Hanto's Vratsam gear. He offered him his old job back in the company, and Dente refuses. Nivelle doesn't kill him, he instead leaves him to think it over, and expecting the worst to come, Dente starts getting to work on something big. So, episode 33, the president brings one of his compatriots who he just got addicted to dark candy to Nivelle to be experimented on. Nivelle surgically gives him Bitter Gavv's Gavv, and he is tasked with killing the riders. He ends up beating up Hanto, then Lakia, then switches matters to Shoma, and in the nick of time, Sachika delivers Dente's newest invention to Shoma, meant to hold up to 100 Gochizos in this new Gochi pod. And thus we have one half of our final form, Overgavv. And Overgavv is ugly. It's just, I don't like a single thing about it. I don't like that it's orange and yellow. Like, I could care less about it being yellow. Honestly, don't mind that. But I don't like that it's all orange. It's just hideous to me. And the helmet looks dumb now, too. Shoot, what I really would have wanted was to there to be like a hierarchy with food. Because think about it, his super form is based off of cake, and his mid-season form is based off of ice cream. What would have been nice was if, say, yeah, like I said, I would want Cake King to have been the final form, so maybe his super form could have been like whipped cream, and then his mid-season form would be ice cream. Then we get to the final form where it's cake, because everybody loves cake. But here it's just cake, ice cream, then candy, I guess. Shoot. Overgavv suffers from Shoma being unable to control the amount of power he can deliver in it compared to the other forms. But a couple episodes later, he discovers he can turn the pod's setting to go Master Gavv. Now, Master Gavv is a different story. Do I like how it looks? I'd take this over Overgavv any day because the helmet still looks ridiculous. But the difference is very gradual. Master is less bulky and far faster, and he can summon any of his previous weapons, while Overgavv is all power and no direction. But both forms have their advantages. Like, Shoma could be going Master Gavv, but would decide to deliver the final blow in Overgavv because it's just that powerful. So I will give it credit there. So, in episodes 35 and 36, Boka requests an order of 10 million dark candies, thus starting an epidemic of mass disappearances ran by Longo. Bro, in episode 36, when Shoma discovers he can go Master Gavv, he spams from Master to Over straight up to his advantage. It whoops the brakes off of Longo, killing him. They saved the day, but man, Shoma fought going 0 to 100 real quick like a motherfucker. Though I am surprised, I figured a character like Longo would last longer. But following Longo's defeat, Boca starts taking the lead with plans to take over the human world to farm them for dark candy. Episode 37. Shoma, Hanto, and Sachiko come face to face with the Granute that abducted Hanto's mother. But here's the twist. The Granute's reformed. He's long since given up kidnapping people for dark candy and has been a chef at a family restaurant for ages. Like, even now, since the owners passed away, but Hanto doesn't want to give a damn. This is who he's been looking for. His perspective on Granutes currently is nuanced. He's accepted Shoma and Lakia because he knows who they are as people. But this is too personal. For him, it's not a matter of prejudice. Like, this is the guy who took his mother away from him. Like, next episode, the guy fully understands he has to pay for his misdeeds. But it's been so long since Hanto lost his mother. And in that time, that Granute has grown a bond with his former boss's son. And Hanto can't bring himself to take away from the kid what the Granute took away from him. Someone important to him. It really helps that everyone pondered over this. And ultimately, Hanto decided what he felt was right because he was the victim. I wouldn't say that he forgives him, but he warns him to stay out of trouble so he won't have a reason to kill him. Just what an episode. We started off on hate, but within the characters, we ended on a considerate note.
But in actuality, we ended on a bitter note as Glota finds the Granute and kills him.
She had no reason to kill him. They mentioned earlier in the episode about disposing the lowest performing part-timers, but no laying off?
Glota is apparently the least rational sibling, and by the next 2 episodes, she is a certified crash out.
Episode 39. Coming off from the last episode, Nivelle lets it slip that their uncle's been siding with Shoma, so she goes to confront Dente to come back to their family. And what happens? She doesn't want to hear it, and she kills him. Like, this bitch, just moments before Shoma and gang show up to see him, because he always wanted to try a la mode, because he can't take on a human disguise, so they worry he'll scare people. They come to him, and she kills him.
Worse, Lakia recognizes the slash on Dente, the same kind on Calmer. Yep, it was Glota who killed Calmer, potentially because he backed out of kidnapping people.
Oh, episode 40, Remembrance a la mode. Shoma and Hanto confront Glota, and Glota pulls the cruelest move ever. Shoma's gonna go master, but doesn't have enough Gochizos for it, so he summons 100 Gochizos, and Glota murders them menacingly. Get out of there, SpongeBob. No, that's his maniac scream. I'm sorry. I'm getting tired. Anywho, I've been at this for a couple of hours now, so I'm starting to be out of it. So, Lakia finally arrives, and halfway through the battle, Shoma produces an a la mode Gochizo for Lakia. So now our tertiary rider has a final form. Honestly, what an upgrade from his base form, like all around. And this form is called a mode. He looks like a knight, and I like it. I think what sells it for me is the more presence of silver. I don't know why, because that just gets my attention more. And he gets a new shield. But with this form, Varam kills Glota, not just avenging his brother, but saving the victims whose loved ones were worried about them.
But before she dies, the last person to be with her was Longo. He's back.
Episode 43. Hanto's been looking into Shoma's mother's disappearance for some time now to find any living relatives left, and it just so happens that Shoma has an uncle that he's met already at their candy shop that he frequents. Good for Shoma. And I like this guy, and he stays around for the rest of the show, learning and realizing that Shoma is his nephew. Episode 44's a weird episode. It's a clip show episode, but interestingly, Sheeta and Glota are in this episode, supposedly in heaven. I definitely don't think they would be in heaven. It turns out this episode serves as a prologue for Gavv's summer movie, Invaders of the House of Snacks, which I will cover in its own separate video. But continuity-wise, it's after this episode and around episode 5 of Kamen Rider Zets. I guess the only real thing that's noteworthy, like story-wise for this show, is that we learn here that Longo murdered him and Shoma's father.
But back to the show. The episode ends with Novell following a Gochizo back to Happy Pare.
You don't think Cosmo would be dumb enough to come straight here with Vicky following him, do you? Actually, yes. Hey!
Episode 45. Novell's visit to Happy Pare wasn't about picking a fight. He was looking to recruit Shoma to run for president of the Granite World. To him, Shoma has proven himself to be the superior stomach sibling. Therefore, he should be the one to thwart Boca's campaign in the upcoming election.
Shoma admittedly refuses this offer at first, but with some influence from Novell, he thinks about it.
If he was in charge, he could change the company and stir Granules away from humans. So as a show of good faith, Shoma tells Novell to acquire all the human presses they have and he'll consider it. End of the episode, he comes through on his word.
Episode 46. Everyone realizes Shoma's gone and they go after him. For the good guys at least, they learn that Longo is still alive and he opens the door for them to enter the Granite World. Shoma and Novell attempt to kill Boca and it doesn't go well. Hanto and Lakia save Shoma in time from getting killed, but boy, Novell's going to be Boca's first victim. Alright, did good. Episode 47, Novell pleads for his life, but either way, Boca needs Novell's intelligence because he's relaunching his human farm operation, aka kidnap everyone and take over both worlds. In order to do so, Novell made Gochizos to hypnotize people and come get turned into dark spice. When Gavv and Valen start to catch on, Novell's fighting them as he doesn't want to die. Plot twist, Novell rigged bombs in all the Gochizos in another attempt to foil Boca's plan. For as smart as Novell is, he didn't learn that Boca's one for contingencies because the bombs don't go off. Instead, a bomb goes off in Novell's controller, killing him. And so, episode 48, the Riders and Longo team up during the battle, and Shoma gets a new form to kill Boca. And in 3, 2, 1, Longo steals Boca's plans to abduct humans and take over the human world. Oh my god, it was only bound to happen. But before we go there, Amazing Gummy. It's basically the last two forms, but red. And it's only seen once. What was even the point? Episode 49. I believe in snacks. And I most certainly will after this because I'm hungry and I gotta go grocery shopping. So, Hanto and Lakia raid the Stomach Company factory to steal all the human presses, while Shoma hangs back to neutralize the hypnotism. By the end of the episode, Lakia hangs back in the Granite world, outnumbered to let Hanto escape, whereas afterwards, Hanto runs into Jeb and Lizelle, and our last shot is Shoma and Longo about to throw down. The final episode, Aim for the Sweet Future. This is one of the rare times a Toku finale is different in terms of mood. What I mean is, usually when one gets to the final episode, all the focus is on getting the victory, seeing the final boss get what they deserve. But Gavv acknowledges the losses that came along the way for every character we focus on. They'll say it doesn't have to go this far, but the bad guys want to take it this far, and here we are.
After Lakia gets done defeating the agents, he destroys all the portal doors so no Granules would attempt to enter the human world.
No! You don't have to do that! And when all the doors are destroyed, the whole portal dimension collapses. And Lakia assumingly falls to his death. Like, no! No! It hurts so much. Especially because Lakia's Gochizos, like the pudding one and the strawberry jelly one, they managed to jump back to the human world. Watching him fall, like, no. I feel so bad for them. No. As for Hanto's part in this finale, he's fighting Jeb and Lizelle. He's about to do his finisher, and in a final act of character development, Jeb sacrifices himself for Lizelle, taking the hit, mirroring and realizing why his sister sacrificed herself for him out of love. And it's sad. Like, this is what I mean when I say the villains get what they ask for. Because now, Jib's dead, and his wife is a widow. All because he acknowledged too late why Sheeta gave herself up for him. Imagine Hanto's part in all this. Like, Lizelle is just sad, grieving, and Hanto has no words. He just takes the human presses and leaves. The man did what he had to do. And now for Shoma. Him and Longo fight so hard. Shoma starts off in his final forms, but then Longo depletes their powers, forcing Shoma to go to all of his forms to disable pieces of Longo's powers. I do wish he didn't go in exact order of what forms he got from last to first and mixed it up some, because his lesser forms are super powerful too, and it wouldn't matter if Longo walked through a form as long as he got those hits in where they count, because the results are still the same. But of course, it all lands on not just the base form, but out of suit too.
Which is quite a way to mirror where Shoma was at the start of the show, and now he's built that dog in him for 49 episodes, all for this moment.
ランマ兄さん、最後にもう一度だけ聞く。どうする？二度と人間に関わらないか。それともこの場で俺に倒されるか。お前が俺に倒されるんだ。
You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss your
3 months later, life basically goes back to normal. Shoma now meets up with former part-timers that are stuck here, thanks to Lakia creating a refugee crisis, to help them be reformed. Speaking of which, Lakia is fine. He hung back in the Granite world, and the a la mode Gochizo stayed with them to keep him company. That's cute. He has a little memento of his friends. I love that. We get our cameo of our future writer, Zetz, getting electrocuted. There's her passing up the torch.
And that's where we end Gavv, with Shoma off to make the world happy. This show was great. I don't know if I don't sound too overhyped about this show or not, because literally when I watched the final episode, all of my hype went towards Shoma defeating Longo. But after watching all 50 episodes, I'm glad that I did watch this show. And furthermore, I hate the fact that I did not watch this show or finish it when it was airing, because I cared about everything from this show, from the characters to honestly everything. Like, this is a show that really makes you want to feel, but not just for the characters, but for their issues and what's going to happen, well, next. And so, with that said, Gavv is just such a great show. It's an S tier show. Like, everything with this show is it's amazing. Let's finally get into these characters, because I could try to think of what to say all day, and this video is already a long one. So, first, our leading man, Shoma. Shoma is too pure for this world. Like, I love how much of a fish out of water he was, and I believed it. Like, this is a writer I believe... Like, this is a writer... Oh, God, I can't help but think this, but... Like, Shoma is so positive and cheerful that this is a real positive and cheerful writer, as opposed to Gotchard, where he could sometimes cross the line into being obnoxious. Shoma is just... He wants everyone to be happy. Like, if you're working on something that's big, he's going to cheer you on that you succeed. And, like, and Shoma makes a point of, I don't know if well, he starts off with wanting to protect innocent people, but now he has a new mission of, let's all get along, and let's all get along through my muffins, since he made that in the final episode. Shoma's just such a great guy. He's such a great guy, and for being a little, I don't know if I want to say naive, but he's very mature for himself. Like, meeting new people, being in this new world, it's like he found where he truly belonged, and he found his own family through his friends. And he fought tooth and nail to protect everything. Oh my god, I like how in the end, Shoma is still working for Sachika. Because, well, that's where he belongs. Like, he loves what he does. And he loves everything. I could talk about Shoma all day. He is the best main writer we've had since Ace. He really is. But next, Hanto. He is the best secondary writer we've had since... This is a tough question. I think Hanto is the best secondary writer we've had in a while. Like, his story started off from a place of hate and prejudice, but then it ends being from a place of, I have to beat these guys now to keep everyone safe. it's like him gaining nuance to not just to dislike Granudes for being Granudes, but also judging from content and character. I like that we actually see and actually hear him say, I don't dislike this one Granude because they're a Granude, but because this is the one who stole my mother from me. Like, he actually grows as a person. Defeating Sugar was perfect. Just everything with Hanto is just, I love everything. Shoot, even in the end where Hanto defeated Jeb, I loved it. Like, think about it. Most times with the secondary rider, especially in the final episode, they just hang back and the main rider just gets the spotlight. Here, everyone gets a piece of the spotlight. Shoma's taking care of Longo. Lakia is trying to cut all ties between the human world and the Granude world. And then you have Hanto, well, basically cutting off the rest of the ties from the Stomach family. And what a soldier. So next, Sachika. She was the anchor for that group, just keeping everyone grounded. And she was Shoma's biggest inspiration. Like, I loved her. She was great. She has such a strength of not being angry, but when she's upset, she will voice her opinion. And I appreciate the hell out of that. You gotta love an independent businesswoman who owns her own business and stands on business too. Like, bro, that one episode where Shoma goes off to the Granude world to be the new head of the company or president or whatever, and she runs into Longo. One thing she does is call him out on his business tactics. Like, how dare you, sir? You don't do things like this. Bro, back up with yourself. Like, yo. Like, Sachika was prepared to tell him off. And thankfully, Lakia and Hanto were there. Otherwise, who knows what the hell Longo would do. But Sachika, she's the best. She's a good inspiration for everyone. Shoma and Hanto. And, well, yeah, I guess, yeah, Shoma, Hanto, and especially Lakia. Because she had a moment where she was so hesitant about him because, she knew that he was a Granude, but seeing his form for the first time was a shock to her system. Speaking of which, Lakia is tied with Nago for my favorite tertiary writer. Lakia is that awesome. He's great. Like, he really is a different person from the end. Like, starting off from a place of wanting revenge to literally sacrificing being able to see his friends again. Just, I love him. Like, and just like Shoma, his friends become family. But thankfully, even back in the Granude world, like, he has something to remember them by. So next, let's talk about the Stomach family. As villains, they're about average. Like, I don't think they really do too much individually. But as characters, what I appreciate the most about them is that I can't stand any of them. Like, they are all horrible people. Like, to the point where if any of them died, I had no sympathy. Like, honest to God, I think the least malicious was Novell. But Longo, horrible. Glota, horrible. The twins, horrible. Like, when they all died, I was relieved because every episode, anytime any one of them was focused on for a moment, you're reminded, oh yeah, I'm supposed to hate you, and I do. Like, they were all just evil. Like, especially Longo, who murdered his dad because he wanted the family fortune. Dude! Like, even without being monsters, they are all just evil people, man. And so, that was Gavv. I like that I reviewed this show, because now I'm hungry, my throat is dry, and I'm thirsty, and it's all thirsty and dry within such appreciation for this show. Like, honest to God, like, if I had waited to rank this show for my Kamen Rider tier list, this most likely would be an S tier. It's on my top 10 Kamen Rider list, period, too. Like, everyone is awesome. Just, I appreciate everything. So, I guess that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, share this video, tell your friends about KamenRider Blackman. Thanksgiving is around the corner, so for my next review, let's talk about family. So next time, we'll be reviewing Maho Sentai Magi Ranger Majiro. I want the Memorial Collection Magi phone. But, happy Halloween!
もう大丈夫慣れてるからあとは任せて